Minister of Health Patty Hajdu, the MP for Thunder Bay Superior North, joins us for a discussion. It's James with NetNewsLedger. Joining us by Zoom is Minister of Health Patty Hajdu, the Member of Parliament for Thunder Bay Superior North. Welcome back.
Nice to be here, James.
And here we are as we continue the process, except that this week you've got you've been busy with good news.
Yes, despite the pandemic, there's still other things going on, which is great when I get an opportunity to talk about some of the things that really matter to Northern Ontario besides our health, which obviously is primary in importance. But we were able to make a joint announcement on the new orders of light rail vehicles for Alstom plant in that former Bombardier plant. So that means jobs. And the Thunder Bay Airport is getting a whole whack of money to improve their facilities and to keep them viable so that when people resume travel, that we'll have a world-class airport and they'll continue to be providing world-class service to Thunder Bay.
I was out to the airport a few weeks ago for North Star Air. They're doing rapid testing for all of their passengers. And I was shocked at how absolutely quiet the airport was.
It is. I haven't traveled myself since just before Christmas when I came back as the house rose before Christmas. And I haven't been back, but the last few times I traveled in the fall, it was very quiet and, just a fraction of the volume. I will say that travel volume is down by 95%. We're seeing 5% of the typical travel volume internationally. People really have been staying home, and the rest of the travel is largely essential travelers like workers, critical infrastructure, folks delivering our food, and medical professionals that travel across the border, particularly in the Detroit-Windsor area, for example. And so, we know Canadians have been sacrificing travel for a long time. Many are itching to get back at it, and we'll, I think, obviously be reassessing our stance on the border very carefully as we move forward.
One of the themes that we have talked about almost every time we've talked is the importance of kindness. And the one thing I've been noticing with a lot of people is as the pandemic goes on and we're into 14 and 15 months and we're into this extended lockdown here in Ontario, our mental health becomes really, really important. And part of that starts with just being kind to one another.
Yeah, it's hard though. I agree with you. I mean, I think if you can err on the side of kindness and compassion, that's always the best route, but it's not, none of us are perfect and none of us are robots. And I think you raise something really important. When you're struggling with your own mental health, sometimes it's really hard to have any well of anything to give back to other people. And ironically, the more you give to people, the better you feel. But when you're really struggling, you might not have those reserves left in your own, wellness, if you will, to be able to give that generosity of kindness or compassion to someone else. And that's why I think, to your point, it's so important we take care of our mental health. I think about programs like wellnesstogether.ca, and if your listeners haven't checked it out, I really hope they will. It's a free mental health resource available to any Canadian across the country who needs help, and it includes connection to paid professionals.
That's the good news in a lot of this, because what I've been finding is that as the weather's warmed up, we're able to get out more, get some fresh air. A lot of us have been pushing hours. I'm sure members of parliament and members of cabinet must just be racking up you're not paid by the hour, but I'll bet you the overtime hours are there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not unusual for me to do a 12 or 14-hour day. And I love my team dearly, but they manage to pack every minute in. Some days I have to try to figure out and plot how I'm going to have a bite to eat. Today, I did some work while walking, though. I put on my headphones, my noise canceling headphones, and I did a series of phone calls and meetings by phone. And I wish it was really pleasant. I walked around the neighborhood and I looked at the trees and I listened, and we, made some decisions, and it was actually really pleasant. But listen, you're right. People are stuck in front of their screens. They're working really long hours. There's been a number of research reports on just how the line between when we're working and when we're off is blurred blurring for people. And I think it's a really good reminder that we all need to have that balance in our lives, and we need to turn off our phones, turn off our computers, get outside and play, spend some time with our dog or our child or our grandchild, whatever makes you happy. Because I think at the end of the day, the screens, the constant pressure, the constant news, it's not good for any of us.
And that's something I'm finding in the last 2 months. We picked up a really cool bike for my grandson Nation, and he will come up to me, go, "We have to go for a bike ride now." And he's insisting. So he must be picking something up out of me. But I think that this kindness thing that we've talked about is so important. And as we close, just what message for Thunder Bay Superior North and for all of Western and Northern Ontario?
I think two key messages. One, we're almost there. Don't let up now. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal. When it's your turn to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. I'll also say to those folks who are vaccinated with AstraZeneca, don't worry, we have your back. We have doses of AstraZeneca here and more coming, but we also have research coming on dose mixing. Either way, you're going to have access to that second dose, and it will be safe. And then thirdly, I'll just say it's important, James, you're right, to continue to focus on how we, each of us have it in our power to do a little nice thing for somebody. It's whether it's phoning someone that hasn't heard from you in a long time. I always say that if someone pops up in my mind, there's a reason why. And sometimes you think about someone you haven't thought about in a long time. And when that happens, shoot them a text, give them a phone call, see how they're doing. You're probably going to get something out of it yourself. And that person for sure will feel good that you remembered them. And this is what we need to keep doing for each other until we get through this time.
Minister, thank you as always, and stay safe, stay busy.
Thanks. I will stay busy and I will stay safe. Thanks, James. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. To keep up to date, you have to subscribe. You have to hit that like button and hit the notification to stay in touch.